Hi guys, welcome to the video today. Today is going to be very similar to what we did with the ping clubs, except in a new brand. I'm going to test the Mizuno clubs. I'm going to go through all of the MP range, all of the Jpx range, and essentially see what they do. I've got the exact same shaft in all of them. That's the perk we have with Mizuno. I have a Nippon Modus 120X. And that is going to be the exact same shaft in all of them. I'm going to have it in a 37 inch, which is standard length from Mizuno, and all of the irons are going to be 61.5. So this is probably going to be the closest test we've had in terms of an exact comparison, a true comparison. And I'm quite looking forward to it. I get to hit 7 different clubs and tell you who they would generally fit for, who would go into them and who they're targeted at. And I'll give my opinion on them as I always do, but yeah, let's get stuck in. Again, no time to waste, so let's have some fun. Right, so I'm going to start off with the Jpx 921 Tour. This is heavily inspired by Brooks Koepka. He used the 919s for a long time, winning a good few majors with them. So he had a design input in these. The frame around the back makes it a little bit more stable, so it's probably one of the most stable muscle backs currently on the market. Grain flow forged, Mizuno 1025 carbon steel, so it's a soft Mizuno but a forgiving soft bladed Mizuno. I mean, that ticks every box. Let's see how it performs. Now we're going to go on to Jpx 921 Forged. This is going to be a little bit more stable than the Jpx Tour. A little bit hotter off the face. It's got a larger rebound area and it's kind of a blended set already. So the 4 to 7 iron have chromoly. The 8 to gap wedge are all green flow forged. That provides you a little bit more control with the scoring clubs and a little bit more forgiveness and just a more stable golf shot on the longer ones. Let's see how this performs. So I'm going to go into the forged model. This is the other one that's forged, obviously, and a little bit bigger on the top line, a little bit of a wider sole, more designed just to give you a bit more forgiveness. So. So now we're going to go on to Hot Metal and Hot Metal Pro. The reason I'm putting these two together is you'll see from the numbers at the end, but from a numbers point of view, from a looks point of view, from a tech point of view, they're very, very similar. I much prefer the Pro. I think it's as forgiving. It's got a slightly smaller profile, a little bit cleaner. A lot of people don't really like having that big chunky club. If that's as forgiving and it's doing the same kind of thing, I'm going to put that in a lot more people's hands. I just think that might just be not too big, but when you've got the same kind of performance in a slightly smaller club, that's a win. Let's see how the performance of the two of them compares. So there's 2 heads in the Hot Metal range. First one I'm going to do, just progressively, I'm going to do the Hot Metal Pro. So the Pro is a little bit sleeker than the standard Hot Metal. Let's see how it performs. I mean, instantly this looks a bit stronger than the other two. Loft wise, this is 29. This next one is the hot metal. So this is Mizuno's current kind of super game improver, if you were to label it in that kind of way. And loft wise, also 29. So instantly that top line is bigger. I know it's supposed to be, but it's noticeably bigger. I mean, someone who's needing a bit more help, this is going to be brilliant. Now I'm going to go into the Mp20 range. I'm not going to go straight into the Mp20 MB and have to work my way back up. I'm going to go easy, I'm going to go back down the hill. So I've got the top of the mountain, I'm going to go back down towards the higher lofted, less forgiving clubs. So the first one in the lineup is the hot metal blade. Now I've already tested this in a previous video. I tested this in my player's distance iron video and it done very well. So for a Mizuno it's a little bit different. This is a new concept for Mizuno. It's a hollow construction with forged chromoly face and neck. So forgiveness, speed meets feel. That's essentially what this is. Let's see how the numbers back up. So I'm going into the hot metal blade. I've already done a player's distance iron video here, and these were in it and these competed really, really well. So we'll see how it compares against other Mizunos now in that. The feel change is almost instantaneous, going from the Jpx hot metal into the Mp20 hot metal blade. One of my favourites, personally, very, very slim looking down on it. This is the MMC, multi-material concept. So this has titanium, little plate in the back is titanium. It's got tungsten to change the CG location. It's 1025 carbon steel forged, and it's got that copper underneath, layered with the copper with the nickel chrome on top. This has pretty much every metal apart from chromoly that Mizuno have used, but feels very, very nice. This is a classic MP iron, slightly more forgiving version. They've done it in previous. This is the second iteration of the multi-material concept, but very, very good. They've almost improved on last year's one. Let's see how this performs. Tungsten, bit of titanium, and let's see. So now I'm back into this kind of head. I feel like I find it easier to reduce a little bit of shot shaping. Just much easier, much more feel based. And then the blade. I'm just going to leave that there just to look at. This is pure muscle back. Again, Mizuno used its grain flow 1025 E carbon steel. This is the one you want. This is the Mizuno iron that everyone aspires to have and to hit and to play. It's just so clean, so nice. It's just a pure golf club. Let's see how it goes. This is what everyone wants to play. MP blade. Let's see how it performs. And there we have it. All 7 current Mizuno irons. I'm exhausted. This video has been going on for 28.5 minutes, and that's just me shelling shots. So let's see what the numbers say. So absolutely no surprise to see Hot Metal and Hot Metal Pro at the top of the ball speed list. You have 125 on that one, and another 125 on the Hot Metal. Like I said to you, I don't see them doing a lot different. The carry is exactly the same. The spin's a touch more on the Hot Metal Pro, and I see that as a benefit. Club head speed's exactly the same. If people are coming up to me with those numbers, there's only one club I'm pointing to, and it's the Pro. The Pro version for me is just, well, not just for me, but in my eyes is a better club when it contains as much forgiveness. MOI might be a touch lower, but it's just as good. Also Jpx Tour and Mp20 blades, they're very, very similar, carrying at 166, ball speeds very close together, spin rate very close together. Arguably my distance control is a fraction better with the Jpx Tour, probably that extra bit of stability benefiting me. Like we've seen in the ping test, the spin goes up as the loft goes up, and the size of the club head gets smaller. You're going to see more spin, more control. Where are we? So 6.6 in the blades, 6.1 in the forged. Then we go into the MMC and the HMB being very, very close together. Another shot would change that. Launch angle is also relative to the loft. I had a 61.5 degree lie angle in them all, so in terms of that, everything's going to be very, very similar. So there we have it. JPX versus MP, which one won? In my eyes, I would say that the JPX 921 Tour won. For me anyway, I know a lot of golfers are going to be slightly different. If I was to be overly critical, I would say there doesn't need to be 4 JPX versions. I would say you could do away with either the Hot Metal Pro or the Hot Metal. I know they introduced the Hot Metal Pro a little bit after the 919 came out, and 921s had it from the start, and I much prefer fitting for the Pro. Reason being, you get a little bit more spin because it's a slightly smaller profile, but it still packs that punch and it still is forgiving. It's exactly the same loft. In my opinion, I think more people are going to go into the Pro because it's a Mizuno. It's just that little bit smaller. It's more of a Mizuno profile. So that being said, MP range felt a little bit softer. The MP range is always going to feel a little bit softer. Really loved the way the MMC felt. I just think for me the best one was the Tour. You need to find out what the best one for you is, and the best way to do that is get a fitting. So as always guys, listen, thanks for joining. Like, comment, share and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.